Hey gun people, I'm gonna work backwards on this video. Rick, you can't laugh. Look, I'm just trying to figure out how many different ways can false information be kind of put out. So Benjamin died. This is his obituary. He was born. Um, he was a loving father, brother, uncle, cousin. Uh, let's see. He was predeceased. I guess that means, is that like funeral home talk that I don't know? Predeceased? Meaning that's the people that died before him? Whatever. I don't know. Ben was survived by his children, Felicity, Hunter. Damn, he had a lot of kids. Um, and let's see. Calling hours. In lieu of hours, contributions can be sent for Ben's children. Okay, so what happened to Ben? The mean police shot Ben on the highway. Let's see. I-89 killing. Officers acted properly according to police review. So no charges were filed. The officers were cleared of killing Ben. Okay? Let's take a look at the shooting. So here's Ben on the highway, minding his own business, getting pulled over by the road pirate police to give him a freaking ticket for probably having snow stuck on his windshield in a snowstorm. But I digress. Let's try to stay on Ben getting killed here. So they pull him over, and he puts a gun to his head. Let's see how this turns out. Okay, so it's going to be easy to concentrate on this, but I want you to try and concentrate when the shots are fired. Watch the people driving this way and this way.
Drop the gun! Coming out, coming out, coming out! Drop the gun! Drop the gun! Do it now! Drop the gun!
Okay, so what do we have here is a guy who's a threat to himself when he was in a car. Now, is he a threat to the officers? And that's the key here. Remember, if you have the ability to do seriously bodily injury and or death, and you're in fear of your life or the life of others, now the only exception to that is I can't be in fear of your life, so I can shoot you to protect you from killing yourself. That's the only exception to fear of others. So I can shoot you if I think you're a danger to other people or to me, but I can't shoot you and use deadly force if you're only a threat to yourself. And here's where people are going to come here. Oh, man, that's great, man. They killed a guy because he was asking for help and he had a gun. And that ain't what's going on here. Okay? If he was asking for help, he'd have stayed in the car. He'd dialed 911. He'd dialed the crisis center. He wouldn't have pointed a gun. He wouldn't have got out on the highway. Now, these cops have been yelling for how long? Drop the gun, drop the gun. When cops are yelling, drop the gun, although you can't see them, I'm going to give you a clue here. If a cop's yelling, drop the gun, he's got his gun out and he's got it pointed at somebody. Probably the person he's yelling at to drop the gun. So these two cops are on the side of the road with guns out, pointing at this guy. This guy gets out with a gun to his head, and traffic continues to drive by. I want to talk about situational awareness, man. You don't need to be fearful of the cops. You need to be fearful, but I mean, you just don't only need to be fearful of cops when they contact you or target you or are coming from you. You need to fear cops anytime you're around them. Because when they act and when they go into shoot, I'm defending myself and I'm going to shoot anything that moves, you are collateral damage. And I don't know how to stress this more, but I'm telling you, these cars, if these guys shoot this guy and miss, and remember, cops miss 70-something% of the time. They only hit like 13 or 14, 15% of the time. It's a huge discrepancy on the number of times they miss and hit. And they miss a whole hell of a lot more 3 times as much, if not 4 or 5 times as much as they hit. So when you're around cops and you see guns out, you need to seek cover and you need to not get in the line of fire. I would have stopped behind them. I would not have passed them. Or if I did pass them, I'd be going about 90 or 100 and I'd be zooming by as quick as I could. These cars continue to come on by. Multiple shots fired. 1, 2, 3 cars. How many people in these cars? Maybe 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 people? That's their backstop. Rick, you have to be, don't that's what they tell civilians? When you get your concealed permit and you carry a gun, you're responsible for every shot fired. You must have a clear background before firing your weapon. You must be aware of your surrounding before firing. That's what they tell other people. That doesn't plan out for cops. Because cops have immunity when they're working and they don't have to worry about it. That's why they shoot more. That's why they're not convicted as much. That's why most of their shootings are justified. It's just the way it is. Government protects government.
Shots fired, shots fired.
So now we have guys with their guns out. We have a guy falling on the ground. We have cars driving by. Well, Rick, they can't stop. Maybe they didn't see him. Dude, if I see a cop stop, I'm looking at what he's doing. Maybe that's because my cop sense. I'm looking to see if he's fighting, whether he's searching, whether he's got his gun out, whether there's multiple cars. If there's 2 cops, there's 2 police cars because they're from 2 different agencies. So you have 2 cop cars and a guy falling on the ground with cops with their guns out. Cars driving by. La, 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 la. Isn't freedom great? I'm going to go down here and pick up my free check and the government will protect me. And
Coming out, coming out, coming out. Drop the gun! Drop the gun! Do it now! Drop the gun! Drop it, bro! Shots fired, shots fired.
had pretty good gun control there. Not a lot of recoil. I'm assuming he's shooting maybe a 9mm, maybe a 40. Not a lot of, had a two-handed grip. He might have got a lot of shots on target. They didn't say how many times he got a shot.
Drop the gun!
Watch his gun when he's firing.
Shots fired, shots fired. You good, bro? Stand by, stand by!
So I think this cop is switching to a long gun. I don't know why. Maybe he had his long gun out already. But this stand by, and now he comes out with a long gun. I would think they had their pistols out. But again, there's not a lot of information. I tried to Google it, and I didn't find a whole bunch.
You good? No, yeah, you good, you good? Good. Good.
These cops do a pretty good job of communicating. They're talking to each other. They clear the car. They're aware of the car. They're aware of the guy moving. I think this guy was more a threat to himself. I think he became a threat to them when he approached them and decreased the distance. When you decrease distance, you decrease reaction time, which means it raises the threat. The likelihood of you getting shot or injured is higher as there's less distance between you and a bad guy. So as that guy approached them, he could easily turn that gun on him. Now, when they found the gun, it was a pistol. They said it was a high-powered pistol. And the safety was off. And it had a fully loaded magazine. So it would have been very easy for him, less than a second, to move from his head and to shoot at the cop. Was this a suicide by cop? I'm not sure. I don't have a whole lot of problem with this, because if you get out with a gun to your head and you got all those problems and you walk up to cops yelling at you, dropping a gun, and they got a gun pointed at you and you get shot, I don't have a whole lot of pity. I know that sounds mean, cold, cruel. I should be more loving. Somebody should have offered him a sucker and he would have gave him their gun. I get all that. They should have shot him in a pinky toe. Why didn't they just shoot the gun out of his hand? Why didn't they shoot his tire, and when it blew up it would have knocked his legs out? Rick, that you're just mean and cruel. Look, cops, I'm telling you, the cops' mindset, I don't have time for all that BS. If you threaten me and you're a threat to me, I'm gonna take you out. If it's between me and you, it's gonna be you. Every time, and twice on Sunday. So that's just the way it is. And you can be mad at me and think that all cops are psychopaths, whatever.
Still breathing. Don't move! Don't move! Don't get up! 21. One male down, 70 rescued. One male down, 70 rescued. You ready?
Guy uses turn signal. I'm sure the cops were like, damn, we can't write him for not using a turn signal because now there's video evidence he uses turn signal.
Affirmative. I'm ready. I got this side.
Two cops with guns pointed at a guy laying down. How many cars are driving by? La 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 la.
I got the car. He's moving, he's moving. Don't move. Let me see your hands. Let me see your hands. Here you go. Don't move. You secure that weapon. Don't move.
Cops are doing a good job communicating. They're saying he's moving. They're getting things out. They're verbally talking. These cops do a pretty good job. I mean, they were both cleared, but I think they do a pretty good job.
I'm on the car. I'm on the car.
Good communication. One of them's going to clear the car. You get tunnel vision. You get focus. Even though they think there's nobody in the car because they were sitting there yelling at them, it's still good procedure, good muscle memory, good practice. Always clear the car. You never know if there's some guy down there hiding that's going to ambush you. A lot of cars still driving by. This guy walking in a highway, I'd have probably been more to the right. I know I tell you about the no leg zone. If somebody hits his car, it's going to jam the car in here. His car is pretty far back because he had a gun, so he's not really close. If he's got his wheels turned, preferably to the right, unlike freaking Texas. I don't know what the hell it is in Texas. Texas cops always stop their cars when they point their wheels into traffic. So if their car gets hit, it's going to go into traffic and injure other people. In California, cops park their cars and their tires are turned to the right. So if the car gets hit, it goes off to the side of the road and you're not endangering other people. Why the hell Texas does it the other way? You freaking idiots in Texas do some of the worst, stupid, ignorant shit, like having 14 freaking fire trucks on a scene of a banana peel in a roll, and you block traffic for every freaking accident on every high. Traffic is the most screwed up thing in Texas anywhere. I just don't get it. The only thing Texas does right is most Texas drivers stay out of the fast lane and they pull over if you pull up behind them so you can pass. Unlike Oklahoma idiots. But I digress. Let's get back to the Kine shooting where they saved the man from killing himself.
Got the car. Car's clear. Car's clear. Car's clear. I got the weapon. You good with him?
Okay, here's where I disagree that the cops kind of do wrong. They deal with this guy on a roadway with their backs to traffic and cars coming by. I've yanked many a bodies, either handcuffed, if they were shot, whatever. I've yanked them from where they were at and dragged them to a better point of safety. I am not going to deal with a guy on a highway. Too many cops get killed. I've seen cops. I've seen people. Too many injuries and deaths on a highway. Do not be screwing around on a roadway. This dude, he gets the gun. They should have grabbed a freaking leg, one guy cover, and I'm going to drag him on the ground over here in the snow. I want to lower his body temperature to hopefully help save him so he doesn't bleed out as quick, and it gets me out of the roadway. So I'm dragging a dude. I don't care if he's shot. I don't care what somebody wants to cry about. I am not risking my life on an incident where a guy's on a highway that he forced this incident, he pulled a gun, and now I'm going to get out here and get run over. I wouldn't do that. I'm dragging people to where I think it's safer. I'll drag a guy behind cover. I've done that. I think I did a crazy cop story where I used a guy for cover. I've handcuffed people in the yard, and in the middle, guys run out, or somehow a gun or weapon gets involved. Cops drawing their guns, and I've got to get to a point because I'm sitting and ducking in the middle area. I'll grab a dude by the shirt, hair, leg, arm, handcuffed. I don't care. I'm moving him around the corner of the building where I got cover behind a car, over a curb, behind a mill, wherever I need to go. I can either drag him or I can leave him. In this case, I am not dealing with a guy on a highway. That's me.
Is he breathing? CPR?
If the guy is yelling on the ground, then he's breathing. If the officer's yelling, I'm not sure what's going on. Back to traffic, messing around, wiggling around, giving first aid. Are you kidding me? Get the hell out of the roadway, you dummies. You're going to be a victim. You know, you want to get out there and cops get this Superman syndrome. Nobody's going to run me over. Nobody's going to hit me. I've got my fancy badge, my fancy patches, my fancy web belt, my fancy lights on my car. Therefore, I can run around the highway like a freaking idiot and then be shocked when somebody runs me over.
Hey, man. I can't see his left hand. It's right there. Stay still, bro. Don't move. Stay still, buddy. Don't move.
Okay. To me, you don't need to be on a guy with a gun. He had a gun to his head. You shot him multiple times. He went on the ground. You got two cops. Cover the dude, handcuff him. I don't know what's taking so long. They both kind of stood over him a little bit long with the gun. Handcuff the dude and get him out of the freaking roadway. Grab him by the freaking leg and drag him somewhere. He's going to scream. If he's screaming, then you know he's alive. If he's not screaming, well, he's passed out and it's not going to matter anyway. So drag him off the road. This really irritates me when cops do stupid things like this. But you know what? Hey, it's their life. If they want to play Superman on the highway, knock yourself out.
I got latex. Need latex?
We're worried about gloves. We're worried about everything except the cars on a wet, snowy road going 70 miles an hour by us with our back to traffic. We're not worried about that. You need latex? Hey man, you need a napkin? You need what? Can I get you some glass cleaner so I can clean off my glasses? What the? Get the dude out of the roadway, you big dummies! And I know there's going to be some medical dude coming here with his expertise saying, Rick, you don't know if he has spinal and moving could increase the injury and you should never move. Shut up, you freaking idiot. I don't care. I am not getting run over because I might do more damage because this guy put a gun to his head and started walking to me and forced me to shoot and defend myself. I'm not going to risk my life just so I don't do more damage. I don't care. Same way with somebody in a car. Rick, you shouldn't yank somebody out of the car because they should be backboard. You should only let medical professional. If the car's on fire and it's going to blow up, I'm cutting a seatbelt and yanking him out. But Rick, you can do more damage and you're not medically trained and you ask because you're a freaking idiot. Nobody can think anymore. This is dangerous to two cops, and I don't care if this guy gets hurt more by dragging him, 10, 15 feet out of the roadway. Rick, you're just a big blue jack hammer. Beat the blue top. Whatever. Oh, let me roll him out more in the roadway. I'll move him, but I'm not going to move him out of the freaking roadway. I'm going to move him more in the roadway. Why? Because I am super cop. Nobody can hit me. I've got a uniform on. I'm a police officer. If you resist me, I'll shoot you or take you to jail. Okay. See how that works out when a car hits you, knucklehead.
21.
All right, that's pretty much a video. Look, I know there's going to be cops here saying, Rick, you don't know, it's stressful, and you die. Shut up. I've been there and done that. I don't need to hear this shit. You cops can't think now. You want to make damn excuses. You want a freaking participation trophy for showing up. You want a little tag that says, oh, I shot somebody, so therefore I'm cool. You want to shoot dogs. You want to shoot freaking chihuahuas. You want to act like freaking idiots. And then when somebody else calls you out, you want to have oh, you don't know, it's a tough job and it's dangerous. And shut up, freaking crybabies. Go eat a freaking donut. All right, well, in that there,